Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, February 14th. I'm Denise Douglas.
And I'm Byron Scott. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, it was a year ago today that a gunman opened fire, slaughtering 17 students and staff at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Scores of innocent people have been gunned down since that day, including a massacre at a Pittsburgh synagogue that claimed 11 lives in October. In our area, students at Bethesda Chevy Chase High School are saying no more. Keisha Butts has more.
Students at Bethesda Chevy Chase High School are observing the Parkland shooting by hanging t-shirts. On the shirts are the names and ages of teens who were victims of gun violence in 2018.
Every day walking into school, there's a nagging feeling in the back of your head that it might be you next.
Emily Schrader and her classmates are saying enough is enough.
We had to go through active shooter trainings all over Montgomery County and Maryland.
Inspired by the Parkland shooting victims, these kids wanted to do something that would start a conversation. So they decided to put up shirts depicting the teenagers who were murdered last year. That number is 671.
Put a face, put a name, put an age, put a story.
This exhibit is already prompting discussions in the community.
I taught high school for 39 years. I'm now retired. I know what teenage people are like. I imagine these kids here are afraid. I think they need to know that there are other people that support them.
Gun violence is something that really touches me. I was threatened with a gun when I was a teenager.
Students at this high school say they are pushing for common sense gun reform. But the first step is talking. For CTV News in Bethesda, Keisha Butts.
And the students say they use a database on a gun violence archive website to find the names and ages of each of the victims.
In politics, Governor Larry Hogan today continued his effort to expand the use of clean energy throughout the state. He and First Lady Yumi test drove an electric car around Annapolis. The governor praised its efficiency and environmental benefits afterwards, adding that he is pushing legislation that would double the amount of money being invested in electric cars and that will also increase charging stations.
These are incredible new developments with technology. We have legislation that will double the amount of money that we're investing in electric vehicles and charging stations, and to expand tax credits for both of those kinds of things. And this fuel cell technology makes it even more exciting to be able to. A lot of people don't buy some of the technology because there's no place to charge up your cars. This fuel cell technology is different than some of the other electric vehicles, but the reason why we're expanding it is because it was so successful. And of course the goal here is to have a more diversified energy portfolio.
The test cars that were on hand today were made by Toyota and Hyundai.
Meanwhile, a similar bill has been proposed by a Montgomery County lawmaker. Delegate David Frazier Hidalgo also wants to extend a rebate program for plug-in electric vehicles to include used cars as well.
The bill that I'm putting in this year is another electric vehicle. It's an extension of the original electric vehicle tax credit from 2017, and it opens it up a little bit. It also allows some tax credits for not only brand new vehicles at $3,000, but used vehicles too. The objective is to get as many registered electric vehicles, and so sometimes you can buy a used electric vehicle. That's great. So we do $1,500 for a used vehicle and $3,000 for a new vehicle.
And the bill is currently before the House Environment and Transportation Committee. While Frazier Hidalgo says parts of his bill dealing with the vehicle mimics the governor's, he's against the governor's plan to extend rebates to hydrogen-fueled cars.
A Lanham High School football coach is on leave over alleged inappropriate interaction with a student. Terrell Lockwood coaches varsity football and works as an in-school suspension coordinator at Duval High School. He has been with Prince George's school system since 2005 and began working at Duval in 2011. In a letter to parents, the school says that David Kolaski would serve as interim coach until further notice.